The first time I saw this, I thought it was fake. No way could this be a real playable version of Skyrim, the now 14-year-old classic, right? I mean, Unreal renders and AI have been pretty convincing lately, but no. This is in fact Skyrim Anniversary Edition running with the Nolvus V6 mod list, and after spending the past couple weeks with it, I can never go back to vanilla Skyrim. It's managed to recapture the sheer magic of exploration and discovery that's made Skyrim such a lasting pillar of gaming history, while giving it one hell of a facelift. I was so immersed in this experience that it rivaled even some of the VR titles I mostly talk about on this channel. So today, I want to talk about why I think that if you're anything like me and you have fond memories of Skyrim, this might be a perfect way to take a trip down memory lane. Alright, a couple disclaimers before we kick this off. This video is aimed specifically at Skyrim fans that may have little or no experience with mods. If you're already into modding, I don't know that anything I'm covering is going to change your interest in this one way or another, but I hope you stick around. Also, Nolvus V6 is currently in its beta development, so regular updates are still rolling out, and if you decide to jump in, just know that you might encounter some bugs and occasional crashes. There is a much more stable V5 version available if you want to try that one out. Nolvus V6 is a comprehensive visual and gameplay overhaul of Skyrim, combining over 3,500 mods with the goal of creating a more immersive, modern, lore-friendly version of the game. Don't let that scare you off immediately. Even if you've never messed around with mods before, the developers have assembled one of the most easy-to-follow guides I have ever seen to get this set up. And they even have an auto-installer that does a lot of the work for you. It's a highly customizable experience, so you have a lot of agency over which gameplay and visual changes you want. We'll talk about that more in a bit, and personally, I think it's worth trying, but if you're looking for a strictly visual update to vanilla Skyrim, they're working on it. The wait might just be a bit longer.
So, a Dragonborn appears.
Now, go back in time with me real quick to November 2011. At the time, I was a college student, about to go on holiday. My roommates had all left town already, and excitement for the new Elder Scrolls game had reached a fever pitch. I didn't really have much experience with the prior games in the series, but that first trailer for Skyrim melted my brain.
But there's one they fear. In their tongue, he is Dovahkiin, Dragonborn.
So like seemingly every other gamer at the time, I waited up for the midnight release. That night was the last time I can remember losing myself so deeply in a video game that I didn't snap out of my trance until noon the next day.
Hey, you're finally awake.
Few gaming experiences in my lifetime have come close to stepping out into that frozen landscape for the first time. To this day, I still check in on the game from time to time, and have dabbled in some small visual mods, but personally, I reached a point a long time ago where Skyrim just showed its age too much, and the magic has been lost on me next to things like Cyberpunk. Enter the Nolvus V6 mod list. I initially stumbled on it looking for visual mods to freshen up the game. Typically, I'm very picky about gameplay changes in mods, especially for games that I have such a fondness for, but after seeing Nolvus in action, I knew I had to at least give it a try. First, it's hard to overstate just how incredible this mod list can look. Generally, it tends to lean a little more high fantasy, but aspects of it can be tweaked during the installation. Grass blows in the wind as far as the eye can see, dense, towering forests dot the landscape, and textures are all absurdly detailed. There's a ton of new buildings and locations. Weather patterns and seasons can drastically change environments depending on when you pass through them, and characters look a heck of a lot better than they used to. There's something about the lighting that makes the world feel more grand and adds so much dimension to everything. After 14 years of visiting these locations, I feel like I was seeing and experiencing them all for the first time again. I spent hours in Nolvus just walking around, taking in the sights and sounds. The gameplay side is where things could get a little more divisive, but again, a lot of it is adjustable and you could hold out for the visual only version. But I think there is a lot of cool stuff to play around with if you've already put a ton of hours into the game. It definitely feels like Nolvus is subtly nudging you to play in third person. There are a lot of mechanics, especially around combat, like an enemy lock-on system and dramatically expanded animations that point to that. If you crank up the difficulty, which can get really challenging, you could even turn this into something that feels closer to a Souls-like experience with an alternate leveling system. Perk trees are expanded, and there's a separate special perk tree that can help you customize playstyles even more. I've always played these games for the first-person perspective, which works as you would expect here. And the optional dismemberment system can really make combat feel extra satisfying, chunky, and powerful. You even have the option to expand survival mechanics that force you to eat, drink, bathe, and sleep to prevent combat penalties. But I really want to stress again that basically everything is optional here. You do have the ability to tailor this experience to what you're looking for.
At your best!
The most unexpected part of Nolvus for me was all the added content. This mod list includes a ton of new fan-made stories and events. It always feels like something new is going on, but not in the way that Skyrim traditionally felt. The world is more alive than it's ever been. Without even realizing it, I got scooped up into a sprawling, compelling quest that I'd never seen before, filled with a ton of unique ideas and twists. The quality was so high that I had to go back and see if it was an actual Bethesda quest. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. I spent hours deeply invested in that quest, and when it finally came to a close, it hit me. That same feeling I had all those years ago, so immersed and so captivated that I lost track of time. Something I've rarely experienced since. For all of its pros and cons, and whatever Nolvus is or isn't, it reignited this love I have for Skyrim and gave me a taste of that magic that has allowed this game to stand the test of time. It's legitimately astounding what the modding community has done with this game. I mentioned it at the top of this video, and I'll say it again. If you're anything like me, Nolvus is absolutely worth checking out, even if you're just looking for a fresh coat of paint on one of gaming's great experiences. But what do you guys think? Have you ever checked out Nolvus? Do you want to check it out? Have you checked out any of the other big mod lists? I know that Lorem is another big popular mod list that leans a little more hardcore, but I'm curious what you think if you've tried it, so let me know in the comments. I'm going to include links to all of the relevant websites down below, and remember that if you enjoyed the content, hitting the like button really supports the channel. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.